What's happening, guys? Good evening. See a couple of people in here already. How are you guys? Please let me know if the music is too loud. That was some feedback we got last week. So I am just getting set up. I think I'm good to go. And as you guys know, I've been playing with a bit of Terminators for a few weeks now. So Terminators are here. They need some paint on them for sure. And something else to say, yeah, Tetmarine as well. Tetmarine needs a bit of love too. Quite a lot of love, actually. So, probably just be working on these guys a little bit tonight. I haven't quite... This Tetmarine's quite messy, actually. Do you know what, we'll start with the Tetmarine. Thank you. Alright, hopefully that's the music at 15%. Good evening to and good evening Scarabell. Hope I'm saying that right. Good evening Jasper. Afternoon Steel Rain, how you doing? Hope you guys are well. I've had a busy day. It's actually my birthday today, so I turned the grand old age of 38 today. So kind of a chill day though. I was pretty tired. I didn't sleep so well last night. That's what happens when you've got a 2-year-old. But yeah, so figured I have finished the video for tomorrow. Finished it just before I got on stream. So it is an hour and... Do you know what I can tell you? It's longer than I planned for it to be, that's for sure. Thank you. Tomorrow's video, which is the tournament breakdown of all the games, is an hour and 35 minutes long. It is a bit, like I said, quite a bit longer than I planned, so you'll need to set aside a little bit of time if you want to watch tomorrow's video. But we do go into every game I played in the tournament, and we go in and pretty, like, I guess I spent 20 minutes talking about each game. We go over photos, we go over secondaries, we go over key moments. We pretty much just go over the whole games, I guess. So yeah, an hour and a half tomorrow, or an hour and a half this weekend, you'll need to set aside to get through that video. It was kind of fun to make it. I didn't really have a time limit on it. Like, you know, sometimes on YouTube you try and keep videos under a certain amount of time, but no, I just wanted to go over the whole tournament, basically, every game, every matchup, and talk as much as I want. Love the battle rep against the Orcs. Thanks, man. I really enjoyed beating the Orcs this week. They'd beaten me a few weeks back, and that was when they were snake bite, and like the snake bite orcs are pretty difficult to kill. I thought that the game was a bit slow on Monday night. I don't know if Brett's kind of new to Goths, I guess, so I don't think he knew his list as well as, like, I know my list like the back of my hand now. Like, I can play my list from being at that tournament. I can play my list like pretty fast now. Good evening, Gitley. How you doing? Obviously, I'm working on Terminators, but yeah, if you shout out in the chat, guys, what you're working on tonight. Gitley's on his Realm Lords. Is it my birthday? Yes. I'm 38 today. Not quite. I think I was born at 3 a.m. So I disagree with your opinion on the buggies. You think they're balanced? Because I do not think those buggies are balanced at all, but I guess we can disagree. I mean, if Games Workshop think they're balanced, they'll stay the same points. If they think they're not balanced, they'll change them, right? Working on a Dukari army, nice. I hope you've got enough money to buy 6 raiders then, because that seems to be the Dukari meta right now. I'm not sure how I feel about raiders. Like, you know, they were 85 points. They were probably undercosted at 85 points. Are they undercosted at 95 points? I'm not sure. I mean, I think they're still very, very good. They could maybe be 100 points and I'd be happy with them. But yeah, 95 points is where they are. The buggies aren't balanced. The Art of War guy was saying so as well. Yeah, another thing is I don't think AdMech are particularly well balanced at the moment either. That I don't know if you guys watched the final of the LGT, but the fact that it was finished in a single battle round, not even a single turn, a single battle round. Like, the guy did so much damage in battle round 1. He went first with AdMech. He shot so much stuff off the table, the other guy gave up straight away. Like, this guy has battled for like 2 days through hundreds of players to get to the top table, to get to that final game, and he just gave up in turn. Like, he didn't even take a turn. Like, the game was literally over on turn 1, not battle round 1, turn 1. Which to me just tells there's no army should be able to make an opponent quit in turn 1. Like, before the opponent has even had a shot, like, he hasn't even moved a single model, all he's done is made saves and he's quit the game. I'm starting Craft World Eldar collection in anticipation of the new codex. Yeah, I've heard some rumors about the new Eldar codex, but the rumors are a bit all over the place. And I actually noticed there's 2 new Warhammer 40k games that had two video games that came out, or they had trailers today. One's a mobile game that looks a little bit like, well, do you know what? They're both kind of the same game actually. They're both like a turn-based, you know, a bit like XCOM. Like, you move a unit, you shoot the unit, and then it's like your opponent's turn type thing. So there's 2 games. One on PC, I think, and one on mobile. The PC one was that Grey Knights game, and I thought from the trailer it looked pretty cool. I'll stream it. I'm actually trying to save up to buy a new computer, so I'm not going to stream any video games till I get a new computer, because this computer is just a piece of shit. But I'm hoping in the new year to get a new computer. Where is my Dawnstone? Dawnstone. Must be in. Sorry, the place is a mess. I'm moving house in like 3 weeks. So you see boxes and stuff behind me. Yeah, I'm trying to get everything packed. It's a nightmare. So I think in like 2 weeks' time, that one weekend, there'll probably be no streams, because I am going to be moving everything out of this house. But I should have better internet, and 2, hopefully a bit more space for hobbying and stuff in the new house. Marine vehicles are crap. It's not that the raiders are too good. Yeah, you're probably right. Marine vehicles are probably overcosted a little bit, aren't they? And that's probably just because they were the first thing that came out in the codex, right? And like, by coming out first, you think it's great. You're like, oh my god, I'll get our codex first, but it's actually bad, because you come out and then every other codex has power creep after it. And I think the power creep in 9th edition is pretty bad. I thought, like, when Sisters and Death Guard got their codex, I was like, holy crap, Sisters are strong. Holy crap, Death Guard are strong. And then AdMech and Orcs came out, and it was just like, okay, these 2 codexes are ridiculous. I try not to get too hung up on that, especially in the video that I'm talking about tomorrow in the tournament. I try to just play as best we can with what we've got, but yeah. I mean, the fact that the buggies are like 30 points less than a whirlwind, and they kill twice as much, maybe even 3 times as much, is kind of disgusting. Sure, the whirlwind has longer range, but I mean, on the smaller board, I guess quite a lot of its 72-inch ranges is actually wasted now. Like, I'd much rather if they took the whirlwind down, let's say to like 48 inches, and like just made its gun a bit better. That would be like a really good balance they could do in the whirlwind that would make it good, I guess. I think the points are right. I just think they shouldn't come in squads. I'm a dedicated orc player, so I'd be sad. I really think they should be single units. Do you know what, Dan? I could agree with that. Yeah, if you could just have 3 of those buggies across your army, and that was their cost, 95 points, I'd be fine with it. It's the fact that you can take 9 of them, and you can delete like 500 points of Marines with indirect fire. It's just absolutely ridiculous. You know, and you just hide them all behind obscuring terrain, and like, as a Blood Angels player, I have to get all the way across the map to get you into melee combat, and yeah, it's just not fun for, well, I want to say it's not fun for anyone, and because the person that's actually playing 9 orc buggies is just They're just abusing the meta. Like, no one's having fun in that game. They're abusing the meta, and the other person is just getting waxed. But yeah, if they made the Borks, if they got rid of them as, or maybe even if they just made it, I was gonna say if they made it squads of 2, maybe. But yeah, the way they stand currently, they're pretty rough. I played Admech with my Blood Angels on round 4 of LGT. He won first turn. My opponent asked if he wanted to continue after this turn. It was brutal. Oh yeah, you went to LGT, Gitley. I forgot that. So how did you get on overall? And like, what was the Admech play like? Where were you in you know, like, what was your final position? I guess, and like how, like, was the Admech player that you played like really strong, or was it just a rough Admech list? Because I've only played Admech twice in 9th, and both games they almost got rid of all my units. I just managed to beat them on one of the games by really scoring my objectives really effectively, I guess. GW will probably take notice of that turn 1 forfeit at the LGT finals. Doesn't look good. Yeah, I know, it really didn't look good. And anyone, like, when I was watching the game, I was just like, this is just a joke, right? Like, the damage the Admech list puts out is just a joke. As a Marine player, and the guy was playing Deathwatch, so he's essentially a Marine player. He was just up against it, and there was nothing he could do. You know, like, literally nothing he could do. He had all his models obscured as best he could, but I think he even said, like, oh, I wish the terrain had been better, but I actually don't think the terrain helps him much, because those flyers, they're just too maneuverable, and they do too much damage. You know, like 10d6 worth of mortal wounds from each flyer, and they can do that every turn. Yeah, it's not cool. It's really not cool. Reziel has just finished rendering his first video. What is your first video then, Reziel? Tell us. Dark Tide's come out in the spring. Any chance of stream with members co-op? Spring is about when I'll be able to afford my new computer, I think, Steel Rain. So maybe. When you say spring, like, I was trying to do the math. I think I might be able to get a new computer like end of February. What is up today? Good evening, Spiderwing. How you doing? Yeah, I don't play 18. I just run 4 scrap jets and 3 buggies. Have you played against the Dakar jets? Yes. I've played against the when you say Dakar jets, you mean the actual flying ones? Or you mean scrap jets? Because the list that Andrew played was his list was 8 Rucka trucks and 7 what are they called? Mecha jets or something? Mecha scrap jets. But I have played. Brett has got a flying jet with like I think it had like 40 shots from its Dakar or something. I have played against it. I had no problems with it. Like the orcs with a lot of shots isn't a problem. It's just that it's just the Rucka trucks are stupid. I actually don't mind the scrap jets. At least I can see the scrap jets and shoot back at them, right? I went 2-3 and finished okay. I actually scored over 420 points across my 5 games. The Admech guy I played was a good player, but he also had 120 Skitarii and 6 chickens, which was obnoxious. Do you know what? That just sounds obnoxious. I do not know why Games Workshop have let Skitarii be like 20-man squads. Like, it's, especially when they're like 7 points a model or something. They are ridiculous. They need at least, like, and they've got an invuln save, and they can ignore like -2 AP. Yeah, I don't want to hark on too much about the balance, honestly, guys, because like I'm annoyed with the balance as much as anyone. But like and right now, I guess it's popular to hate on Games Workshop, but like I don't want to. I want to try and stay positive and say that hopefully they'll take notice and things will turn a corner sooner rather than later. But yeah, it is a bit frustrating. You beat Thousand Suns, well played. Thousand Suns are very difficult. Did you have Soul Warden when you played against Thousand Suns? Because I've recently put Soul Warden in my list, and I think it's I think it's probably pretty important against Thousand Suns these days. The planes, yeah, I'm okay with the planes. I mean, the planes shoot a lot, and they have like the Gretchen to make their Daka, like one of their big shooters, like a little bit better. But like, I'm okay with the planes. Doric planes don't seem as well. They're definitely not as broken as the Skitarii planes, and I don't think they're. I haven't fought against 9 planes, so maybe if I fought up against 9 planes, I'd be complaining. But no, when I fought up against Brett, he just had 1 plane, and I thought it was okay. But like I didn't think it was like overpowered broken. Spiderwing, no worries. It seems like now that everybody's starting to mix again in a post-COVID world, there's colds going around like crazy. I had a cold at the beginning of this month, like the first Saturday in this month. Like I had a cold and a fever on like Saturday the 4th, and I still haven't managed to shake the cough. That's like 3.5 weeks. So like people's immune systems, I think, have like forgot how to properly fight stuff over the last year of everyone staying at home and wearing masks, because like normally I never get a cold for any length of time, but like the last couple of streams I've done actually, I've been losing my voice at the end of the stream, and that's just like this one bloody cold. And it's like I had the cold. I still sound a little bit sniffed up. I had the cold like at this point about 25 days ago, but like my body's still like not quite sure if I've beaten it or whatnot. It's weird. I guess it really is. They talk about this long COVID. I guess there's such a thing now as maybe like a long cold. Like I've never had a cold that stuck around for so long. Cheap models trade too well in 9th skilly meta. Yeah, I mean, Angel sacrificed your way to victory. Well done, Gitley. I had a victory against Thousand Suns in my tournament, which I'll be going over on the video tomorrow. So I'm hoping you guys will enjoy tomorrow's video. You know, YouTube's a funny thing, or like sometimes you create a video and you look at your own video and you're like, yeah, I've made this great video. And this will happen to you, Reziel. You'll make a video and you'll be convinced that it's a really good video. You're like, yes, I've made this amazing video. People will watch it, people will love it, people will like it. And then you upload it and it like gets no views. And you're sat scratching your head thinking like, you know, what did I do wrong? Why did people not like my video? I spent ages on it. And then there's other times where like, I don't know, I've been really struggling for like a video to make or something maybe. And I've been struggling for time, right? Because like, let's say I've had to look after my daughter for the week or something like that, and my wife's been poorly, so I've had a very small amount of time to shoot a video, because I try and put a video out every Friday, right? And I've shot a video and I've shot it in like one night, like a half an hour on my iPhone or something. I've just put this video together as quick as I possibly could because I didn't have time, and I did that once and it was like the best video ever made, and like everybody watched it and everybody liked it, and you know, the algorithm kind of picked it up and like took it places, and I was just like, yeah. I've been doing YouTube for a year now and I still don't know, you know. You just have to make the content every week, and some weeks you get hit and some weeks you don't, I guess. Is Legion of Damned still a thing? I think so, but like they're not. They don't have their own codex or anything like that, right? Did they have a supplement in 1 edition? I actually don't know. I've never actually been a Legion of Damned player myself, but I don't remember them ever getting killed off or anything like that. But I was out of the hobby for a little while, so maybe someone else that's more clued up on the lore can answer the question about Legion of the Damned. Lore isn't something that I spend a whole lot of time on. Like if I have spare time, I'm not reading lore. Sometimes I like to listen to the lore books and the stories while I'm painting, but if I have free time, usually I'm like analyzing army lists, or I'm looking at opponents' army lists to figure out how to beat them, right? Well, I mean, if you feel free to share your first video in the Discord and all that. And you just have to stick with it, Reziel. Your first videos will be your worst videos, but like, don't give up. YouTube can be pretty fun. I really enjoy working on YouTube. You know, like, I used to play a lot of video games in the evenings, but like, I just don't do that anymore. I just work on YouTube videos, and I guess I still do play video games. Don't get me wrong. Like, on the nights I work on YouTube, I try and like sort of stop working at 11 o'clock because after 11 o'clock I kind of, you know, like, I'm not going to produce very good work. I already have a day job, right? So like, try and give myself an hour every night, and also if I'm doing too much things near bedtime, I won't be able to get to sleep. So I still play a video game or two sometimes after 11 o'clock, but we've been open the old time here in GA. Where is GA? Sorry. Good evening, The End. How you doing? I'm not. Geography. Do you know what? I did geography at school, but I guess because I'm 38 today, school was literally over 20 years ago, so I don't remember. I don't know geography. Greetings, Camille. Greetings, The End. How you guys doing? Legion of Damn got eaten by Tyranids. You could play video games on YouTube. Do you know what? I would like to play video games on YouTube. Honestly, my PC is from 2011, and it's terrible. And it is one of the next things on my list to to resolve. I want to get a PC that's better for video editing as well, because the PC is just slow as crap for video editing. So that is the first thing I wanted to do, was get that better camera. If you watch my videos from 6 months ago and I was using like a cheap camera, the camera I'm using now is so much better. I don't even think I've had that camera 6 months, maybe like 3 or 4 months, but yeah, I think I got it maybe in like July. Yeah, so probably 3 or 4 months, but boy, time has been flying. Georgia, the state, not the country. Okay, cool. That's confusing. There's a state and then there's a country on the other side of the world called Georgia. Okay. Do you get GPU warnings when you edit videos? I don't get GPU warnings, but my computer sounds like it's going to take off and it heats up the whole room, and I literally can do nothing else on the computer when it's rendering videos. So last night when I was rendering this like hour-and-a-half video, I just have to leave it for like an hour and a half and I can't do anything else on it. Like I said, it's just an old computer. It is on the list of things to get fixed, or but I use a program called HitFilm Express, and it's free, and it's pretty good. And yeah, no, I don't get any GPU warnings. I'm just picking off. I think I stuck on some of these Terminator arms with blue tack, or white tack rather. Yeah, do you know what? Why do people call PCs potatoes? It's a good question. Is it like where did that come from? Because I've heard people say that before, like, my PC is a potato. But like, is that from a movie, or I mean, like, where does that come from? Do you know, I'm so happy that I'm actually painting these Terminators. They've sat in my cupboard. Well, I had Terminators. These metal Terminators are probably at least 20, honestly, because I played Warhammer 40,000 before I went to university, and when I went to university, I didn't take my Warhammer with me. Like, I wouldn't have had to. I don't know if I would have had time to play Warhammer at university. I mean, I could have probably taken it, but my priority when I was at university was drinking alcohol, I guess, and looking for girls, right? So, I owned these metal Terminators before I went to university, and I went to university like 20 years ago when I was 18. So I'm so glad that these guys are finally getting a little bit of love. Even though these models are kind of rough, like the old metal models, they're not the greatest in terms of definition and stuff, but I'm just happy that they're finally getting some paint on them after, I guess, 20 years of neglect, I guess. Oh, someone made something that was electronic that was powered by a potato, and that's where it came from. That makes sense. You know what? You could probably actually find that on YouTube. Like, there's probably a computer powered by a potato, because you can use like oranges, can't you? Or maybe it's potatoes to create like a very small electrical current. I feel like you definitely do that in chemistry or something at school, where it's like you can create an electrical current using potatoes because electrons and stuff. God, I don't remember anything like that. Just upping your RAM to 32 gig of DDR will help a lot with editing. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't even think this computer's got DDR4, man, honestly. If I bought it in 2011, I'm pretty sure it's DDR3. So it's like, I think you get DDR6 now, so the RAM is like generations out of date. Thank you, Arkin. I appreciate that. I'm going to be a bit older and wiser for the next tournament, I guess. And I got my next tournament in like 7 weeks. So I'll do, if you guys enjoy the video that I'm putting out tomorrow on this tournament, I'll make another one on the next tournament, and I'll try and do the same sort of thing. I'll try and go into all the stratagems and everything, and break down all the games. And I would like to do better in this next tournament. I was pretty happy to go 4-1, but when you watch the video tomorrow, you'll see that I felt like I could have gone 5-0. And I wasn't a million miles away from it. Man, these metal Terminators, they're so like, this is a metal one, right? Do I have another plastic one here? And here's a plastic one. Metal on the right. They're just a bit more like hunched up. There's no space in here. So it's like really hard to paint the details because they don't look that much smaller, but I mean, yeah, they are. They are a little bit smaller, yeah, and the details it's just like this guy has a wire in here, like under his arm, and it's just so difficult. Like I can't even see the other side of the wire hardly, but like I think that'll be okay. It's just difficult. What is your next tournament? It's the SDO, which is a tournament that's actually in my home city. I actually don't know what SDO stands for. Andrew's been talking about it for ages. He goes every year. I had it on Facebook. Let me see. Oh, it's called the Scottish Takeover. That's what it is. So Scottish Takeover. And I guess you can find it on Facebook. I think all the tickets are sold out, but it's a tournament quite northerly in Scotland, and it's just I imagine it's like 32 players. Maybe normally it's more than that, but with COVID restrictions still being a thing in Scotland, like Clan Wars tournament had like 10 less teams in it or something. So potentially there's just a few less teams or a few less players this time around because COVID is still something that we're trying to mitigate here, I guess. That's why I specify DDR4 not DDR5. It's almost ready for consumers, but not available yet to mention no motherboards run it. DDR6 is only being used by GPUs. I'm really not that familiar with hardware anymore. The end. I used to be very familiar with hardware, like if you talked to me like 10 years ago, but because I guess like my priorities had been other, like I've I've been doing Warhammer now pretty seriously for like, I think this must be coming on almost like 5 years, I guess. And like, you know, when you spend all your money on Warhammer, there's not really money to spend on computer stuff. So, you get really, that's the one thing that is nice about the metal Terminators. Like, you pick them up and you're like, yeah, they feel hefty, right? Like, it's like, you know, when your enemy's trying to kill your metal Terminators off the board, it just feels like it's difficult to kill them because they're like, yeah, they're that immovable, hard Terminators or something, I guess. But no, my Terminators did well against the Orcs this week. In some ways, so Terminators only have one more wound than like a Vanguard Vet or a Sanguinary Guard. But in some ways, or in some battles, it's actually twice as many, because so many of these opponent factions are throwing they're throwing out 2 damage all the time. Well, 2 damage into Terminators always means every time they kill a model, they waste 1 damage. So 9 times out of 10 it feels like. Now, I've only played the Terminators in like 3 games now, but in every game, it's felt like when they've gone after the Terminators, they're basically, the squad has just survived because they always have to waste points of damage. Because of the wound thing, right? And maybe I'm reading too much into that. Like, maybe it's not as much of a deal as I'm saying it is, but I definitely feel like it's coming to play a little bit. It definitely feels like it's coming to play a little bit. Alright, this guy next, I think. Gonna work out what we're doing with this part of his. I think I'll maybe do this part black. Sometimes when I don't know what color that a bit is supposed to be, I just wing it. Plus, at this point, I kind of have my palette of paints that I use for Blood Angels, and I don't really care what any painting guides or anything would say. I just always use the paints that I think I would use, if that makes sense. I had a job building and fixing computers around the same era, and now I've forgotten more than I can describe. My motherboard would need replaced, and I'll just upgrade from scratch. Yeah, I think my motherboard would definitely need replaced as well. So I think that's sort of the point where you feel like you just need a new PC. And I'm complaining about my PC. My wife's PC is even worse. And she tries sometimes to play like games on it, and it just takes forever to load up. It's tragic. So rather than try and improve this PC, I'll give it to her. It'll be better than what she has. I mean, it's not great, but it'll be better than what she has. Please drop a like for the birthday boy. Thank you very much, dude. I appreciate that. But yeah, I think I'm going to take Terminators to the next tournament. I haven't quite decided, but I think I'm going to. I don't know how we'll do. Like, if there's another 1,000 Suns list there, and there's another few AdMech lists, it'll be pretty difficult, but I suppose we'll try our best. At least we get some good experience up against the Drukhari now, you know? And also against Harlequins, and another victory against AdMech and Knights. So there was a lot. I feel like there was a lot of positives that I was able to take from the tournament that was at. Oh, I'm gonna watch that. Yeah, I mean, so did anyone see the trailer today then for the Grey Knights game? I think it's called Grey Knights Demon Gate, maybe? It popped up on my Twitter. I followed them. It looked pretty cool. I would like to. We could definitely get. I would like to get Dark Tide. I also still have to stream Battle Sector. Like, I haven't streamed it. I mainly haven't streamed it because I was going to wait for the new computer as well. Plus, I've been saving all my holidays for this house move this year. So next year, when I have some holidays, I'll take some time off and we'll stream Battle Sector probably, and maybe we can even stream some of that Dark Tide. And what was the other one? This new Grey Knights game, it looks cool. I think it looks a lot like XCOM. I don't know if you guys have played XCOM 1 and 2. Chaos Gate, Demon Gate, sorry. So it's called Chaos Gate. Grey Knights, Chaos Gate. And I mean, if they've just copied XCOM and it's 40,000, or if it's Warhammer 40,000 meets XCOM, then it'll be great, because I don't know if you guys played the XCOM game that came out. They had two, didn't they? They had XCOM that came out in like 2011, I think, and they had XCOM 2 that came out like quite a while ago now, like maybe 2017. And both those games, if you like turn-based tactical games, which I assume you do if you play Warhammer, right? Then XCOM is a brilliant game. So if this Demon Gate, like if they've just copied sort of like the formula of the XCOM game, you know, like the leveling up and the unlocking researches and I guess upgrading your troopers or whatever, like if they've just copied the game and it's 40k, that'll be brilliant. I'm actually a big fan of hey Kevin, good evening. Hello Commander, I've just stumbled upon this channel and it's amazing. I just started getting into collecting miniatures with Dark Angels and I've been thinking about getting Blood Angels, and this channel has been really influencing me to start Blood Angels. You're doing a great job, keep up the good work. Thank you, Tech. Is that how you saying your name? And I mean, you should totally collect Blood Angels over Dark Angels. I mean, I could give you reasons, but I mean, do you know what? I like I like Dark Angels. I liked it back in 2nd edition when the Codex had both Dark Angels and Blood Angels in it. That was pretty cool. But, you know, if you want to learn a lot about Blood Angels, that's all we do on this channel. And I mean, I need a better motto. But my motto in terms of Blood Angels is we literally fight to last Marine. Like, we never give up a game. We fight to last Marine, and yeah, do you know what? We haven't talked about it for a little while. Blood Angels are a superior chapter. I actually ran XCOM 2 with 40k mods on it. I did see some people had 40k mods for XCOM 2 actually. Do you know what so I love XCOM, the first one and the second one. I actually bought it multiple times, like, because I bought XCOM. I bought the first one on PC and then I bought it again on iPad, and then I bought the second one on PC. I didn't buy it on the Switch yet, but I was thinking if I ever go traveling again, I might buy it on the Switch, because it would be a great game to play on the move. And my wife has a Switch. So, but speaking of XCOM, right? Like, I'm a big fan of like, and this is an older TV show, Stargate SG-1. I loved Stargate. It was one of my all-time favorite shows. Possibly still is my all-time favorite science fiction show. And I was thinking, like, a game like XCOM where you would like pick your like 5 guys and you go through like the gate to other planets and stuff. Like, that would be such a perfect genre of game for Stargate. But I mean, I guess it would, you know, with the Grey Knights and the Chaos Gate idea, it's kind of the same thing, right? Like, it just seems like it'd be a match made in heaven. So yeah, I would love to, if that game comes out, I would love to stream it a bit once I got a new machine. I really like those turn-based tactical games. I mean, that's what Warhammer is. It's probably why I quite like Kill Team as well. I just don't really have the time to do Kill Team right now as well as 40k. It gets a bit confusing when you do Kill Team as well, because the rules are so similar. I know they've just changed it, but in the previous edition, the rules were so similar but also different. So it could end up that you were a little bit confused, I guess. Blood Angels are my number 2. What's your number 1, Reziel? Is it Death Guard? I plan to upgrade my 1080 Ti. Yeah, I mean, the new graphics cards are super difficult to get a hold of, right? Well, you're welcome to hang out here. Any questions you have about Blood Angels, army lists, anything like that, you know, just ask them in any of the streams or in any of the video comments. I generally try and reply to every comment or thing that we get sent, you know. But I'm enjoying playing Blood Angels a lot in 9th edition, even though it's been difficult, I guess, and it's been difficult because quite a lot of the other armies have really powerful codexes. But I've still been enjoying it, and what I want to say, and some people will laugh at this because we always have a laugh when I talk about win streaks, but like, on the live stream now, I'm back to like a 3-game win streak, and before I went to that tournament, I beat both Andrew and Colin, so that was 5 wins. And then at the tournament, I went 4 for 1, so it was 4 wins, 1 loss. So basically, since I built that new list then, because remember, there was a time where I was really struggling right after the chapter approved dropped, and chapter approved changed some of the costs, and I couldn't quite get my list right, and like I did struggle. Like I think I played like 8 games and won 2 or something, like, so I was really struggling. Since we got this new list sort of sorted, and the thing that I finally had to do was I had to drop a Sanguinary Guard. I had to go from 8 down to 7, and I didn't like it, and I still prefer running an 8, but in this list where I run the 7, I have won 9 of my last 10 games now, including the 4 at the tournament, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. So it's not quite a win streak yet. In fact, it's only a 3-game win streak, but it is 9 wins out of the last 10. So I feel like I've got a list now that I feel pretty happy with, and I'm just making small tweaks on it. And yeah, it took me a while. Chapter approved was rough for us. Like, we got a lot of we essentially got a lot of debuffs, didn't we? Like, a lot of our units, or a lot of the common units that we use, went up in cost. Like our Sanguinary Guard, our Vanguard Veterans, or attack bikes. And these were things that were all in my list. So every part of my list went up in cost, and it took me a while to figure out like what I could drop to keep the strength of the list, I guess. And I guess I finally found it. And yeah, we're sort of... I haven't updated the Discord bot, so you can't ask the bot yet about win streaks, but like if we win a couple more games and we get back up to like 5 or something, and we've got like 12 wins out of the last... 12 wins out of the last 13, then maybe I'll update the Discord bot and we'll start a new... Yeah, my gaming as Admech was rough. Yeah, it was really rough. That was before I found this list though. So that was when I was trying out the 3 Redemptors. Is there a box that I should grab? You should grab Sanguinary Guard, I believe. Tech, if you don't have any Sanguinary Guard, you need 2 boxes. You need... In my opinion, you want 8 Sanguinary Guard. You can make 7 work, but you want 8 minimum. And you want to make them with Angelus Bolters, and you kind of want to go... The debate between swords and axes will never be settled. So what I reckon you do is you go 4 with swords, 4 with axes. If you can't make 4 with swords and 4 with axes from the box, because they don't give you quite as many weapons as you need, because... they just don't. Maybe you can join our Discord or something, and like someone will probably trade you like an axe or something. Or if you can't get another axe or something, you can always go onto like a Bits website and spend like $1.99 and get them to send you like a single Sanguinary Guard axe. But I think as a Blood Angels player, Sanguinary Guard are our most damaging unit. I've been saying that for a while. I just think you always want a squad of them in your list. You know, just because they are a unit that can do the most damage out of anything else on the battlefield. So if they make their charge and the enemy has to deal with them, then they'll always do work, I guess. The Dark Angels Combat Patrol is also very good for Blood Angels. Yes, I run 2 Redemptors in my list. Inceptors I also run in my list. Intercessors and the Chaplain, probably not so good, but you can... each box has 3 swords and 2 axes. Alright, so you can make 2 and 2 in each box. The Blood Angels need a new codex from everyone I've heard that does know what they're talking about. I think we can agree the Blood Angels codex isn't the strongest codex out of 9th edition so far, but like, do we need a new codex? I'm not sure we need a new codex. It's certainly not the strongest. It's a tough one, I guess. We maybe just need like... Yeah, no problem. Yeah, like 2 boxes Sanguinary Guard and the Dark Angels box would set you up really well to get started, I think. And if you're in the UK, and even if you're in America, there's affiliate links underneath this video, underneath every video that I post. So if you order through my affiliate links, you can help the channel out, and you can also save some money yourself. So check those out. And if you've not, you know, I order everything here in the UK through Element Games. They're a great site. They deliver quickly. They're cheap. They always have like 15% off the retail prices. I can't recommend Element Games enough here in the UK. Yeah, I love their paintbrushes as well. I'd use them. I would be using them right now, but I've knackered the one that I've had. I've had it for a long time, and they're currently out of stock. I think because they're so popular, probably. Good evening, Highland Phoenix. I'm not sure if I said that. Sorry, it's been a long day, I guess. You know, well, here's the thing, I suppose, is Blood Angels Codex the strongest codex in 9th edition? No, but we have access to the Space Marine Codex, and the Space Marine Codex does have some decent stuff that you can use together. And people have been using like the Relic Contemptors and the Redemptors and stuff to win tournaments, right? Like I think a Deathwatch player won a tournament using like Relic Contemptors and Redemptors, and then it was a Deathwatch player that was in the final of the LGT, again using Redemptor Dreadnoughts and stuff. And like, I guess I run my list with Redemptor Dreadnoughts, and one of the comments I got, because I did a video a few weeks back with my tournament MVPs, you know, after I posted that video with the tournament MVPs, somebody said like, oh, it's not really Blood Angels because you use Redemptor Dreadnoughts and stuff like that. And I was like, well, Blood Angels have always had access to Space Marine Dreadnoughts. That's nothing new. And yeah, I tend to not agree with that. I think someone said like you just use the strong units from the Space Marine Codex. Well, you know, if you look at these tournaments that have happened recently, and use the London Grand Tournament, for example, the guy that won the London Grand Tournament is literally using the strongest AdMech list possible. Like, I'd argue that AdMech list is almost nigh on unbeatable, right? But like, no one's saying to him, well, maybe some people are saying like, yeah, you're running a list that's nigh on unbeatable, like, but you know, he won the LGT fair and square. He beat everybody. Yeah, he was using a powerful list, but like, what do you want the top players to do? Like, not run a powerful list? Like, just be like, well, this list is too strong, I'm not going to run it? That's not going to happen, right? So, if someone's saying, like, you know, I've got this video coming out about my tournament list tomorrow, and someone might say, like, hey, you know, that's not really a Blood Angels list because you're running a Redemptor Dread, and you're running in set, like, where's your Death Company, you know? But, like, I'm running what units I think are strong and what units I can create good synergies with and win games, essentially, right? And like, you know, some people say like Blood Angels aren't a good army for shooting. Well, the way I have my list set up, I have like one Dreadnought that hits on a 2 and rerolls ones, and I have another Dreadnought that hits on a 3 and rerolls everything. So it's like my army is actually, the main part of shooting in my army is actually pretty damn reliable. Like, and the Redemptor's flat 3 damage on their plasma cannons is also pretty nice if you overcharge them. And because you're rerolling those ones, you don't really need to worry about mortal wounds. Like sometimes you'll give yourself a mortal wound, but it's never going to kill your model. So for the most part, I don't know. I like my Space Marine list as it is. Yes, the Blood Angels Codex isn't the strongest, but I think we can work around it. And I think, you know, I think you're kidding yourself if you think we're getting a new Codex in the next year, considering half the factions don't have their codexes yet. So we're gonna have to wait like a year anyway, so we kind of have to just make it work, right? Do you have a larger beveled brush with a good tip? Do you know what? The reason I'm kind of, I don't know if I said, if you were here when I said, I'm moving out of my house and I've packed a ton of my paintbrushes, and I had some brand new brushes as well, and I've packed them, and they're all away in like a self-storage container. So I'm kind of screwed. I'm just having to make do with what I've got here, which isn't ideal. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just making do. So yeah, I have other brushes and stuff. I've got this brush that's a little bit better than this tiny little one, but like you can see, both these brushes are pretty frayed, I guess. And I do have a brand, like, because this is the one I was talking about, Element Games character brush. I love this brush, but this brush is probably painted like 40 Marines right now, and I guess I maybe don't take as much care of the brushes as I should. So like in my lifetime, once I've had a brush like this for like 3 or 4 months, I kind of need to replace it. And this one I feel like needs replaced. But I'm sure I have a new one, but I've got it packed away in a storage container and I have no idea where. So I'm kind of screwed for like, I'm not moving for like 3 weeks. So once I get moved, and I did actually get my notification from Kickstarter as well that my wet palette, because I kickstarted a wet palette, I got a notification from Kickstarter saying the pledge backer is going to be up soon or something. So I will have a wet palette hopefully in the next sort of 3 to 6 months. Our codex is clearly not lit at the same level as all the subsequent ones. It lacks synergy and decent units and army thematical strats and buffs. And let's not get started on characters in Dante. Yeah, I mean, I don't run any of the Blood Angel special characters at the moment. I just don't think they're good, which is sad. But I mean, the other thing to say is like if Games Workshop actually are looking at the tournament scene and seeing that like no one's running Astaroth, no one's running Lamartes, no one's running Corbalo, no one's running Tycho, no one's running, who else we got that no one's running? I guess some people, very edge case, are running the Sanguinar. I think it's a very, very edge case, maybe. Some people are running Dante, not so much an edge case, but I still don't think Dante's as good as he should be. But, you know, it's worth saying that, like, thanks, Brett. I appreciate the birthday wishes. It's worth saying that the Psychic Awakening book in 8th edition was what changed for us, right? Because before the Psychic Awakening book in 8th edition, we weren't that strong either. And then Psychic Awakening in 8th edition gave us Savage Echoes, right? And like once we got Savage Echoes, I definitely felt like there was a small while there where like we were really, really strong. Savage Echoes was really great, and our armies performed really well. So yeah, like they could probably I think with that Hellbrett character coming out, are we the only chapter now to not have our chapter master upgraded to Primaris? Because like maybe we can get like a Primaris Dante, and I know I've talked about that before, but like maybe we can get a Primaris Dante with like a new Primaris Sanguinary Guard or something, and or maybe even if we could just get jetpacks on our Primaris Death Company, because like it's kind of, I don't want to say it's ludicrous that the Primaris Death Company don't have jetpacks, but like it's their biggest problem. If the Primaris Death Company got jetpacks, you'd probably suddenly see a ton of Primaris Death Company, because they get a bunch of attacks, right? Like it's, if I remember correctly, Primaris Death Company gets 7 attacks on the charge with the chain swords. Now I know that chain swords are meh. I don't really rate chain swords in general, but like if Primaris Death Company could get jump packs and maybe a couple of better weapon options, you have to spend £70 on element to get free shipping. Yes, I suppose you have to spend a bit more than you do on Games Workshop to get the free shipping. That's probably fair to say, Nathan. I guess the nice thing about element is though you earn loyalty points for every pound you spend, and if you do this with your friends, every time they spend a pound as well, you get loyalty points, and over time, like you just collect loyalty points. Like I think at my account at the moment, like I have enough that I could just pay like for probably like a paintbrush and shipping, just because like I've collected these loyalty points, which is kind of nice. You know, like considering how much they charge you on the main Games Workshop website, they could probably afford to give you loyalty points for using it all the time, right? Like you don't really get any bonus on the Games Workshop website, do you? Isn't Mephiston Primaris? Yes, Mephiston is Primaris, but Mephiston's big problem, I think, is that like he's a beat stick character, and I guess what I mean by a beat stick character is like he wants to jump in and do combat and stuff like that, but his weapon is D3 rather than like if his weapon was flat 3, that would instantly be like, wow, he's a lot better. And then the other thing is, in previous editions it worked really well because you got buffs and stuff that basically let your characters like get additional attacks. They could fight again, because we used to get Red Rampage, which was like 1 CP to get a D3 additional attacks. So what you do is you would jump in your character, you would pay Red Rampage to get D3 additional attacks. You'd cast your Psychic Power to get D3 additional attacks. So you had Mephiston, who maybe started with like 4 attacks, 1 from charging, 1 from Savage Echoes, and then potentially you're giving him like 6 more attacks, and then you could pay 2 CP to fight again. So you could basically get like 20 odd attacks on him. Now the most you can get is like 11. Like I've had in previous editions, I had Mephiston like jump in on a Leviathan Dreadnought and kill it from full health. But like now Dreadnoughts have -1 to all damage, and his weapon is D3, so most of the time you only do 1 damage, and you get, before you get 20 odd attacks, now you can only get like 10. So all these little changes have kind of pushed Mephiston to like, I guess like the land of obscurity. You know, like Mephiston just doesn't get picked much anymore, I feel like. I mean, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I feel about it. You get a free miniature if you spend too much. Yes, I suppose that's true. If you spend $150, you get a free Primaris Lieutenant. I mean, of all the miniatures to get, like everybody has... Everyone I know has about 5 Primaris Lieutenants, and guess how many of them actually find their way into army lists? 0. Occasionally you get like an Iron Hands or Ultramarine player that takes a Primaris Lieutenant, because they can get some nice synergy with the rerolls because of all the shooting buffs that you have. But for the most part, I feel like Primaris Lieutenants really aren't they aren't a popular pick, I think it would be fair to say, right? I use Mephiston because my style of play is very aggressive. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, you can use Mephiston if you want. But yeah, Mephiston isn't Chapter Master, and he he isn't as good as he used to be, I guess, is the problem with Mephistorn. Brent is working on Terminators as well. I want to do my Assault Terminators after that. When do you drill your barrels? I normally, when I do it when I'm gluing. I do not drill my barrels. And I'm not sure how you say your name. SCH-AM2? Shamtu, maybe? And the reason I don't drill my barrels is because I got into this hobby when I was like 15 years old, and half of my units were done by 15-year-old me, and 15-year-old me didn't know shit about. I'm 38. I'm actually 38 today. So 23 years old, 23 years ago, I didn't know shit Shamtu. I didn't know shit about drilling barrels Shamtu. I actually didn't know shit about the hobbying or painting in general. So when I came back to the hobby, what I tried to do was touch up a lot of the stuff that I'd done before when I was a kid, because let's face it, it wasn't very good. There's a few models that I haven't touched up yet, and yeah, they're just not very good. But I tried to keep the same style. I guess it's because it's kind of like a battle ready style, I guess. And yeah, I didn't drill any of the barrels then, so I guess I don't drill any of the barrels now. I don't know. I guess if I had to do, I was speaking to someone at the tournament that was just and my tournament video is coming out tomorrow. So if you want to get like a full breakdown on all 5 of my games and like the wins and the strategies that I used, then that's going to be in the channel tomorrow about lunchtime. But I think that I was speaking to somebody at the tournament, and they were basically saying like their painting style or their painting scheme is they would like to call it like battle ready plus, which means like you've got like your 3 colors on, you've done a little bit of shading, you've done a little bit of highlighting work, and it's a little bit red. It's a little bit better than battle ready, but you haven't, like, I guess you haven't gone totally to town with it. And I guess that's probably how I would like to define my painting as well. Get them drilled, man. I've got 8,000 points in models varnished though, Jason. So yeah, I feel like I've committed to not drilling them now, so I just can't. Do you know what? If I ever start another army, to make you guys happy, because I always get asked, I have another army that I just started making the models, and I basically have just some base coats on them. If I ever start another army, I'll drill the barrels on them, but I guess the Blood Angels will just have to. They'll just have to shoot their imaginary mind bullets or something for the moment. Thanks, Casey. I sometimes magnetize. I definitely magnetize dreadnoughts and tanks. Infantry magnets are like, I magnetized a bunch of Vanguard veterans, but I guess I've got so many Terminators I haven't bothered magnetizing the Terminators. I think I got 20. I think I have 20 shooting Terminators, and I have about 20 assault Terminators as well. So they only have 2 weapon options, really. So yeah, I just haven't bothered magnetizing them, I guess. Is it Gene Stealer cults? No, it was our chaplain's good for Blood Angels. The chaplain on the bike, the Primaris chaplain on the bike, in my opinion, if you want to get a chaplain, that is the one you want to get. He is a badass. He is kind of cheap in terms of points, 115 points, and he's got 7 wounds and toughness 5. Like, he's a real monster, that chaplain on the bike, and the model is very, very cool as well. You can make your own one. Like, I didn't buy the model because although the model's cool, it's like £30 for a single character, and to me, £30 is sort of starting to push. I don't know. I think I saw in the store the other day. Is it your birthday today? Yes, it is. I'm 38 today, man. So yeah, no, I saw in the store that like PlayStation 5 games are going to be like $70 now. So I guess like everything is inflating like crazy because like to me like a video game should be like £29. That's what they used to be, but I guess they're inflating. Warhammer's probably going to inflate as well. So yeah, the chaplain on a bike is a cool model. You can if you have Indomitus, you can definitely build one yourself. I built mine from the Indomitus chaplain and an Outrider. But the chaplain on the bike is a cool model. If he is just maybe a tiny bit pricey. Stream music. Alright. We are going to change this music. You've been building your Dream Blood Angels army. Okay. Have you posted your Dream Blood Angels army somewhere, Highland? Yeah, I give the whole models a recess wash as well, but I guess maybe I just do it in a different order than some of you guys. So I'll, like for example, this guy, I'll probably paint all this silver, like all the bits that need to be silver, all the bits that need to be brass, all these tubings. I'll get all the armor joints filled in, like bits behind his legs, the bits on his arms. And then I'll tidy that all up, and then once I'm happy with all those colors, then I'll recess wash the entire red section. I'll recess wash all these armor joints with Null Oil. When I recess wash these bits, I use Agrax Earthshade. Then I'll tidy all that up again because I spend a lot of time on every model, probably too long. And then after that, I'll go to do like some fine detail work. So these guys are like, I'd say that like these guys are barely like 25% done probably. They need an awful lot of work still. Good night, Spider. Thanks for hanging out. Nice to see you. You kind of dodged my question. Is your second army a secret? It's Thousand Suns, man. It's no secret. If you watched my video from a few weeks ago, you would have seen that I had a bunch of Thousand Sun models, and I was using them as like a combat breakdown. I bought San Francisco is insane though, in terms of like rent and stuff. I was in San Francisco for GDC, like the year before the pandemic, so 2019 I think the end, and like what we pay for rent here for a year, you pay the same for like a month in San Francisco. We saw like a 2-bedroom apartment. A month's rent on a 2-bedroom apartment was like $5,700. Over here, yeah, like that's your rent for a year, and that's the rent for a month in San Francisco. Like that's just insane. I mean, honestly, I remember looking at that apartment and thinking it didn't even look that nice. It looked pretty basic. $5,700 a month. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's probably quite cool to live in San Francisco. A lot of homeless people as well, though, in San Francisco. But I mean, it's hard to blame them when that costs that much, right? I just offered on a house here, 330,000, probably be 2 million or more in San Francisco. Yeah, I mean, San Francisco is a nice place. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we went to a bunch of different hotels and restaurants and stuff because it was like a work thing. And like my employer was paying for it, and yeah, a really nice place, but like wow. We went out for dinner one night and it was like $400 for like 3 people for dinner, and You ever go out for a meal and like an hour after the meal you're hungry? It was that sort of thing. It was like a fancy sushi place. And like an hour after the meal I was like ready to I was hungry and I was like, it costs like $140 and I'm hungry an hour later. Sony, as in like the Sony that make the PlayStation, is moving to California. Because Sony are big right now, are they not? I thought I just read like the PlayStation 5 is like the fastest selling console ever. Like they literally can't make enough of them and they just sell out instantly, right? Yeah, I don't know where that was, what neighborhood it was. Like, I don't know San Francisco that well, but cool place. I kind of want to go back. I'm hoping we actually had tickets to go back for GDC in 2020, but like that was like March last year, like right as the pandemic was sort of kicking off, and you know, everything got cancelled. But I'm hopeful maybe like another year or two my work will send me back there. It just depends on like what deals we need to do it on the day job, because I work for a small place that makes like apps for iPhones and Google phones, Android phones. Hi Ian. I recently started collecting Blood Angels for a Crusade campaign between some friends. I was curious if you think there are any standout units for Crusade specifically. I am not going to be the person that can help you, Ian. I'm really sorry. I got invited to a Crusade list locally, or a Crusade, like, whatever you would call it, a Crusade tournament, or it's not a tournament, is it? Like a Crusade game with a bunch of people. But I had to cancel, man, because I have a very young daughter. And I've been trying to focus a lot of my time and energy on the competitive side of the hobby recently because I was getting back into tournaments. So like I literally haven't even read the rules in the Crusade section of the 9th edition codex. But I bet you a lot of people in here have, and a lot of people in Discord definitely have as well. I'm not actually sure we have a Crusade room in Discord, but I could probably speak to my mods and we could get one made, because it's probably something valid that people have questions. But yeah, it's something that I wanted to get into, but I've been painting different lists for tournaments like crazy, and yeah, I've just never had a chance to read it. I really need to just put my codex in the living room, so one day that I'm looking after my daughter and she falls asleep, and I can just pick up the codex and read it. But yeah, the danger is she's at the age where she likes to colour everything in, so if I leave the codex in the living room, there's a good chance I'll come back and she'll have coloured every page in with crayons, because we already have to like shout at her, you know, like when she just like, you buy her a new book, like an actual story book, and you just find her in the living room like colouring it in, and you're like, no, don't colour in the books that we buy you. Like you colour in your colouring book and that's it. So I'm sorry, but yeah, please, if you haven't joined the Discord, join the Discord. If anyone can answer Ian's question about Crusade, I would appreciate it in the chat. I haven't played Crusade yet myself, like I said. Good evening, Dracula, how you doing? For Crusade, you want the Librarian Dreadnought, as he can take character upgrades. He's absolutely insane with Crusade upgrades. Oh, cool. So fill me in then. That's buzzing. What upgrades is good for the Librarian Dreadnought in Crusade? But that actually does make sense, because the Librarian Dreadnought's kind of Enigma, right? Like, he is a character, but you know, like he used to get his own specific relic. It was a sarcophagus in 8th edition that let him like just be a bit better with his psychic powers. I think it was called like the Biomantic sarcophagus, but they took that out in 9th, which is a little sad. But some of the stuff they took out in 9th edition, they actually rolled into Crusade rules, didn't they? So like maybe that actually exists in Crusade now, who knows? Yeah, California is a great place. I thought it was anyway. Expensive, but I mean, like, what city isn't expensive these days? I guess. I'll tell you a funny story, actually, the end about California, because I'm from the northeast of Scotland, and I'm actually from the area of Scotland that's called, like, Whiskey... Oh shit, I should know this. I think it's called Whiskey Country, right? And if you ever come to Scotland, people will come up here, and basically I live like 8 miles from the River Spey. And if you know anything about Scotch, basically there's a bunch of distilleries on the River Spey. I want to say there's like 10. There might actually be more, but let's say there's 10 distilleries on the River Spey. And anytime you buy a Scotch and they say Speyside, that means that basically the water for that Scotch is coming from the River Spey, right? And it's just a local river in the northeast of Scotland in a very tranquil, quiet zone. A lot of distilleries on the river, right? Am I looking for a spare Librarian Dreadnought arm? I think I'm good now, Dex, but I really appreciate that. What was I looking for? One with a storm? I've got one with a Stormbolter now and one with a Melta, so I think I'm good. I think I've got both that I wanted. I don't think I like the Heavy Flamer on the Librarian Dread. I think he's good with this. Yeah, I think he's good with the Stormbolter or the Melta. I think that's the best way to equip him. I would love to visit Scotland. Yeah, it's very trying. It's a, you know. Well, if you ever come to the northeast, and you know what, I'm hoping that I'll get back to California. But anyway, so we're in California, and we'd gone to this conference, and what had happened was we got some funding to like fly us out to the conference, right? Because like it was going to cost thousands of pounds to go to this conference, so we got some funding from like Scottish Enterprise, and I guess they're just like a government-backed scheme or something that give small companies like funding so that they can go to stuff like these conferences. Happy birthday, Blood Angels Commander. After years on GW forums and ex-Libertas Mortis, your channel is what I've always been waiting for and appreciated our Blood Angels. Thank you and have a nice birthday weekend. Highland, thank you so much, man. You didn't need to do that. But yeah, no, that's very kind of you to say that the channel is what you've been waiting for. I love the channel. I love doing it. We actually hit 7,500 subscribers today, which I've been hoping all week that we would hit 7,500 for my birthday. You know, like that was what I wanted for my birthday. 7,500 subscribers. So onwards and upwards, and hopefully tomorrow's video on the tournament stuff will be pretty interesting and eye-opening, and hopefully it'll give anyone that's struggling to get wins in 9th edition with the current Blood Angels Codex, or anyone that's saying like, hey, it's difficult to get wins. Well, I beat a bunch of meta armies, and I beat them really well. Like, and you know, I'm excited to go to the next tournament, and yes, I am picking a bunch of models that are very strong from the Space Marine Codex, but like, I don't think that's any different from like AdMech players picking strong models from like Mars and Lucius detachments or whatever, right? Like if you want to win tournaments or you want to do best, you have to pick strong models. And I purposely made sure that the list I was playing had nothing out from Forge World. And that was kind of a decision that I made a while ago and then kind of stuck with it, because like some people came onto this channel and were like, for example, we're talking a lot about California and America right now. In America, I believe Forge World is super expensive. In Australia, I believe Forge World models are super expensive. So like, I got some comments from people saying like, hey, can you make lists that don't include Forge World models? Because like, hey, I literally can't afford them. So I sort of made this list purposely to begin with, like avoiding picking anything Forge World. And after I made it and played it for a while, I was like, actually, you know what? I really love this list, and I think I can make it work, and I think I can do things with it. And that's kind of where I am with Blood Angels at the moment. But yeah, so right. Anyway, telling you my story about whiskey. So over here in Scotland, if I took you down to my local pub and ordered you a Speyside whiskey, right? Cost me about £2 or £3. So if I ordered 3 of them, it would be less than $10. If we want to convert that into dollars, let's say it's going to cost like $12 or $13. Because I think at the moment it's like $1.3 to a pound. So like 3 whiskeys, about $12. I was in California. I'd gone to this Scottish event, and I turned up at this event like on my own because my other workmates were doing other things, and I wanted to make an appearance at the Scottish event because I wanted to like say thank you for the funding that they'd given our company, basically, to get us to this conference. And obviously for me, like, I'd never visited San Francisco before. I visited like 4 or 5 different states in America, but I'd never been to the West Coast. So for me, it was a cool experience because there's a hill in San Francisco. I think it's called the Twin Peaks or something. And I'm like a big hiker, right? And I'd seen the hill in a few movies. So like I used one of the days where so we arrived on like the Saturday and the conference was like Monday to Wednesday. I used like my personal day to like go hike up this hill and stuff. Anyway, so we went to the Scottish bar, right, or the Scottish event, and it was a free bar at the Scottish event. So I started drinking, and I started drinking pretty heavily because it was a free bar, and when it's a free bar, you know, you drink pretty heavily, I guess. But then like the free bar ran out, and I met some people from like other companies that I know, and I ordered a round of whiskeys for like 3 people. And expecting like the round of whiskeys to be like you know, the same as what it was here, like would I say like $12? And the bartender came back and gave me a bill, and it was like $86 for 3 whiskeys. And I was like, oh shit. Well, that's going on the company card, because at the time, like, my wife wasn't working because she's pregnant. So I was like, yeah, okay. So I had to go and tell my boss, like, the next day. I was like, I may have ordered some whiskeys without realizing that prices in San Francisco are a little bit different from prices back home. Blood Angels, I think you're fine. It's not like you're spamming Volkite Contemptors. If Volkite Contemptors, I think, could go up in points, Kevin. I'm actually kind of surprised that they didn't go up in points. I think Volkite Contemptors could go up. Like, if, like, the Contemptor arms are just 5 points per arm, right? Like, I think they could go up 10. They could be 10 points per arm and they'd still be good. If they go up much more than that, they'll be nerfed to oblivion, I guess, and they won't get run, because if they're more than 10 points per arm, you're basically the same points as a Redemptor Dreadnought. Is a Redemptor better than a Contemptor with 2 Volkite arms? It's hard to say, but I think I would lean towards the Redemptor. But yeah, I think those Volkite arms could easily be 10 points per arm, so like 160 points. Basically just that model goes up 10 points, and I think it's still balanced. I actually think it's still pretty good. Forge World requires your firstborn child in Australia, or Kiwis Australia, right? What's New Zealand then? Because I actually don't know. What's the, or does New Zealand not have like an endearing term attached to them? But yeah, Forge World isn't even cheap in the UK, and I kind of dislike the Forge World. Are a lot of work, right? Like if you buy a tank from Forge World, you have to get like a little saw and stuff. Like, the new plastic kits are just so much easier and fun. Like the new plastic kits, they tend to go together so well. I was thinking about this other day. I was thinking like I might just buy like one of those new Gladiators or one of the new Speeders, just because. What's your opinion on running Venerable Dreadnoughts? A friend of mine swears by them. They're hitting on a 2+. Kiwis are New Zealand. Oh right, sorry. Oh cool, Kiwis are New Zealand. Then I have no idea what Australia is. I have actually family in New Zealand. And you know what, now that I think about it, they're often called Kiwis, yes. Where about in New Zealand are you from then? I've never actually been to New Zealand. I would like to go one time. New Zealand actually reminds, like, because Lord of the Rings was filmed in New Zealand, right? And like when you see the landscapes and stuff from Lord of the Rings, it actually looks a lot like Scotland, honestly. Like big rolling hills and green and yeah, I'd say it's pretty similar. Dual shooty arm Contemptor kills Redemptor before it punches it in the face. Not a fair assessment, sure, but I mean, if you think about it, a dual shooting arm Contemptor can do what, like 32 wounds at range? Because you get 16 shots from the twin Volkites and each one does 2 damage. Sure, they're no AP, but 16 shots, no AP, and then some mortals. If you got 32 hits, the maximum number of mortals you're gonna get is about 6, right? So your shooting Contemptor can do about 38 wounds per turn. You're gonna need to roll perfectly, but that's about as much as it could do per turn, right? Your shooting Redemptor could do 18 wounds with its plasma cannon, another 8 with its onslaught, another 6 with its rocket pods. So what's that? 8 plus 6, 14 plus the 6 plus the 18, so 32, and then 2 Stormbolters, another 8. So yeah, your shooting Redemptor can do 40 wounds per turn. Your shooting Contemptor with 2 arms can do like the same, I guess. The advantage of the Redemptor is you've got 4 more wounds and you've got that giant claw that does D3 plus 3 in melee, which is generally very, very scary for Blood Angels. So yeah, I think it's a fair comparison. Auckland, currently in lockdown. Oh, sucks, man. I know that New Zealand was very good at keeping the virus out for a while, but now, you know, Scotland was very good for keeping the virus out for a while, but now that everything's opened back up, Scotland don't really have herd immunity yet. Me and my wife went in 2019 to New Zealand. It was the best place I've ever been on holiday, and we only did the North Island, if you ever get the chance to go. Oh, cool. Why was it the best place, and like, what time of year did you go? Because it's kind of backwards, right? In that, like, Christmas Day in New Zealand is like that's probably like really bad to say it's backwards. That's probably not politically correct at all. It's just the southern hemisphere is the other way around to the northern hemisphere. I don't know how you say that politically correct. I'm sorry if that offends you. I like this Primaris Tech Marine model, you know that? He is quite a cool model. I ran him a few times, right? And like I was really disappointed with him. Like he has 8 attacks in melee. And he never ever seemed to manage to make all 8 attacks. And then the other night I was playing him and I made 8 attacks because he's got weapon skill 3. And he hit every single attack, and he just absolutely rocked something. The Redemptor's 185 points, V 150, it should do more wounds. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, if you put the Contemptor up to 160 points, do you think it's a fair comparison? Like, is 4 more wounds and that Power Fist worth the extra 25 points? Bear in mind, they normally charge about 5 points per wound, don't they? Hey Mikey, good evening. I noticed that you just become a subscriber for like the 9th month in a row earlier today, Mikey, so thank you for that. Your support, I mean the support of everyone in the channel means a lot, but like when I see people that are like subscribed 9 months in a row, like just thank you, man. I mean, I don't know what I can say more than that. I'm really glad that you enjoy the content. I'm really glad that you hang out. All the comments and stuff, you know, just appreciate it, really do. Yeah, I actually bought this guy kind of for the tournament, just because like I thought he was a bit of I think if you compare the Primaris Tech Marine to the Firstborn Tech Marine, for the extra 10 points you pay for him, you get one more wound, you get a much better gun, you can shoot your gun and your pistol, you get a bunch more attacks. I think he's well worth the extra 10 points. It probably, in some ways, he kind of makes the Firstborn Tech Marine kind of obsolete unless you just really want the cheapest model you can for doing vehicle repairs, I guess, right? The South Island is literally Middle Earth. Oh well, you're gonna have to go back, Highland Phoenix, because you missed the Middle Earth part. You only went to the north. Went to Hobbiton on Bilbo's birthday big party day. Nice. So is Hobbiton like is the set from the movie still there, like all the doors and stuff, or do they kind of like clean up after themselves and it's just like the landscape that's noticeable, or what? Man, if I went to Hobbiton, this is your. That's very kind of you to say, Reziel. This is your favorite channel on YouTube. No, that's super nice. I'm kind of lost for words, guys. The kindness that you guys have given me on this channel is, in some ways, it's kind of overwhelming at times. But no, it's super appreciated. Thank you. Had my first game on 9th on Monday, got smashed by Necron's 1k game, but learned a lot from it. Yeah, Necron's gonna be hard, Mikey. You really have to make sure you're... You know, I played them on stream the other week, and in turn 1 he had a blob of 20 Necron models, and I killed 19 of them. Because he ended up doing so many resuscitations, or what is it, reanimation protocols. And the other thing about Necrons, if they are Eternal Conquerors and they've all got that OBSEC, you have these giant blobs of models that you can't shift off the objectives, and they're coming back and they're OBSECing them away from you. It can be tough. What caused you to lose the game? At 100 points, the Primaris Tech Marine is a steal, in my opinion. Yeah, I think if you make a Master of the Forge, I like him. Like I think I think he's a little bit swingy at times, right? Because his weapon skill is 3, but like he's also a really good character to put. He's also a really good character to put Quake bolts on. That's buzzing. Been following for some time now, and I'll become a member after lockdown. Can't work at the moment. Happy birthday and thanks for all your work. That's all good, man. Thank you so much for the $8. It's super appreciated. Yeah, I mean, there's zero pressure to become a member. The members are super appreciated, but like if you just want to hang out, and I know what it's like. I know what it's like having no money. It can be tough. Lockdown as well, and all that, it can be super tough. So yeah, I had a few mental health problems actually, because here in Scotland we were locked down for like 6 months. I think we were locked, maybe it wasn't quite 6 months, but it was like we ended up being locked down from like December the 26th. So they let people mix on Christmas Day, and then we were locked down to like I think it was like the middle of March, or maybe even near the end of March. But like when you're stuck in your house for like 4 months, you don't realize. And like I have family in my house. Obviously I live with my wife and my child, but even like just 4 months in the same 3 rooms or something, like it can be pretty rough. So like I was trying to make sure that like I called my family and all that, and make sure that like, you know, anyone that was on their own, like I always been, you know, like message people and say like, hey, if you just want to talk, you know, like we can talk, because lockdown is I hope, you know, it's something that I guess, like, us as humans just, we're not equipped to deal with, maybe? The other thing that I think I noticed because of, John, with 2 kids, the money will tight again. Do you know what? The money is tight with 1 kid, guys. That's why, like, the subscriptions and the stuff, you know, it's super appreciated. But like I said, I really enjoy making the videos, and if anyone ever has video suggestions, please put them in the Discord room for suggestions. I don't always get to them, but when I have time and I've got nothing planned, then it's nice to go into that Discord room and just look through video suggestions, and you can suggest anything in there, you know, like, and if I guess over my time making YouTube videos, I think what I've come to realize is, like, and I guess this will be good for you, Reziel, as well, because you said you're gonna start your own YouTube channel. Nightbringer, a 1k points list is kind of mean, especially if your opponent knew it was your first game of 9th. Yeah, Nightbringer is difficult to kill in a 2,000 point game with all the tools you have. It really is. But yeah, lockdown for 6 months is rough, man. I don't even really know how to say it. Like, you know, you could have been like, I've never had mental health problems in my life, but like 6 months of lockdown, and like all you can, like, we weren't allowed to travel anywhere in your car or anything like that. You just literally had to, all you could do was like go for a walk once a day around the town or whatnot. Guys, super chats, thank you so much. Happy birthday, John. Keep it at work. You are like the head or representative of the Blood Angels community. I'm trying. Kevin, thank you. Happy birthday. This community is so helpful to me, and Reziel in particular has helped me a good bit in the Discord. Keep it up. Yeah, I mean, like, we got some great community members in here. That's why it was great. Even earlier tonight, when someone asked about the Crusade, what's good in Crusade, and like someone just instantly jumps in. Like, this is like, originally when I started sharing all my tips for Blood Angels, I was like, honestly, this was a concern of mine. I was like, what if I go to a tournament, right? And there's another Blood Angels player, and they've been like watching all my games on stream, and they know exactly how to beat me, and you know, like, they know all my tactics, they know what stratagems that I'm gonna use. Like, should I even start this YouTube channel? Like, is this gonna come back and bite me? But do you know what? I'm gonna talk about it in tomorrow's video. The tournament that I was just at, I met a guy called Dave Murray, and so I was at a tournament and there was like 30 people there, and Dave Murray was the only guy. I tried to find him on Facebook to follow him, but I couldn't find him, so maybe I'm spelling his name wrong, but Dave was the only guy that like came up to me at the tournament and was like, hey, Blood Angels Commander, I watched you on YouTube. And I was like, oh, that's cool, man, you know, like, how you doing? So I ended up going out, so our teams didn't play each other on day 1, and we ended up going out for dinner. Like, after day 1, we went to an Indian restaurant, and like Dave was kind of just hanging out, you know, like after the day 1 had finished with the tournament. I was like, hey, I think it was Andrew was like, hey Dave, do you want to come with us? We're just going to go get some dinner. And at dinner we were talking about like strategies and stuff, and he said, like, and you obviously you can't pick your opponents at the tournament, and he was like, I just really hope that I get to play you. And I was like, oh, that's very kind of you, because he was like, I want to play you at the tournament because I watched your channel for a while and I like it. And he also said, he also showed me his list, because he was like, I'm going to LGT with this Blood Angels list. Will you have a look at it and see what you think? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, Dave. And then what was really funny is, like, the next morning, like, we lined up at the tables to see who's playing who, and I was up against Dave, and he was the AdMech player that I beat. But yeah, it was kind of weird that like the only person that that knew of the Blood Angels Commander channel at the tournament was the guy that you know, he was the guy that was like, I really want to play against you. And I was like, we actually had a really fun game. And I'm lucky that I got schooled by the admech a few weeks earlier on the channel by Gavin, because I think if I hadn't been schooled by the admech, I wouldn't have known what everything would have done fully. And I guess that's something I'm going to mention tomorrow in the video as well. Like, even if you're not confident with your abilities and stuff, if you get the opportunity to go to a tournament, it's probably worth going, because I always say that you learn more when you lose than when you win, right? So like, now that I lost that really close game against Dukari, it definitely made me think like, right, I know how to beat Dukari, I know how I should have played the map, and I'm going to share all that tomorrow. So yeah, maybe at some point in the future, one of you guys runs into me at a tournament and beat me, and if you do, then hats off to you. I guess you were paying attention, right? We did the bones of an 18-month lockdown, followed by other mini lockdowns for several months beyond that, and still have had a chance to see my family in 2 years now. It remains tough. I'm so sorry to hear that, Dex. It's, yeah, the whole COVID thing is just an absolute nightmare. You know, someone said to me, they were like, all this started by like one person having a bowl of soup somewhere, and when you think about it like that, it's bloody mad that like the whole, I suppose that's the one thing about like the world is so connected now, which is great obviously, because you can go around and you can see the whole world like you wouldn't have been able to do 100 years ago or something. But the other part of that, I guess, is the risk. I think the US and Ireland had the longest lockdowns. Yeah, I actually don't know how long. I thought Ireland was even still locked down now. Yeah, so sorry, Reziel. What I was saying was like, I think the thing that I've learned, and hopefully what I've learned over the last year and a half making videos on YouTube, is like, you just want to make videos that your subscribers want to watch. Like, you know, as much as maybe like, let's say I want to make a video about, I don't know, if I have a video idea and I think it's going to be a great idea or something, like, you have to almost just ask yourself, like, will my subscribers want to watch this? Because if your subscribers don't want to watch the video, then like, who's gonna? And that's kind of why I'm streaming again on Thursdays. And like, I was trying to create these more majestic videos, and I don't know if I accomplished that, but like, I think I've streamed 3 Thursdays in a row now, was it? Or is it just 2? But it feels like I like streaming twice a week on just Hangouts. We always get good engagement, we get good questions, we just chat and hang out, and yeah, it's always pretty fun. Do you know, here's a tip for you, for anyone that uses Citadel paint jars, right? See this paint jar, how there's all this paint stuck inside it, yeah? Which is, you know, and sometimes the jar, the pot won't close, right? Because there's so much paint stuck inside it, and it's a fucking nightmare. What you need to do, and this would be easier if I had any nails, but I don't have any nails, because I'm always filing my nails. What you want to do is you want to get underneath this bit and get the lid like completely off. Let me see if I can do it on this one. I think I've got it. Come on, you little... Right. It's coming. So get the lid completely off, right? Then all you need to do is pop this thing out the other way. So push in. And pop it. If you can't, almost, you're gonna get green paint everywhere. But when you pop it, which I should be able to do, here we go. Yeah, look, when it pops, all that shit just comes straight out. How easy was that? Not that easy because we got green paint everywhere, but that is the simple way to get, if you ever get a Citadel pot that doesn't close, look at that. Closes perfectly. So you don't need to try and pick, like I've picked that stuff out with like, you know, like a knife and all that nonsense. Just pop it. Just pop it. Genius. Thanks, Matty B. I don't know if I'm a genius, but yeah, it works pretty well. Honestly, the amount of times that I get pots that you can't get closed properly, people hate those Citadel pots. Blood Angels Commander 1 Citadel pot. Yeah, we try. Not that easy. Yeah, I got green paint on my keyboard as well, but I'm sure it's fine. Reasonably easy. Easy if you've got any strength, but apparently I'm a weakling. I really am the strongest person. I do a lot of like cardio exercise, but I don't do any weights. Maybe we could get by with an FAQ that is near codex size, says Clint. I think what we have to expect, Clint, is like we'll get one new model. I think one of our characters will go Primaris, and maybe we'll get another box. I think the Black Templars got a lot, but I think they're probably an exception to the rule. But I don't think we're going to get it anytime soon. Like, I don't think we're going to get it for 6 months. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. So I think in the interim, we have to try and build the strongest things we can build from the Space Marine Codex. Thanks, Dracula. I'm wearing a mini wargaming shirt right now. I stopped supporting them years ago when I learned more about their business. I don't know very much about mini wargaming at all. We might make Blood Angels Commander shirts at some point. I need to make a new one anyway because obviously I've changed our logo to be less controversial, I guess. Yeah, it's definitely like if you have old paints that are all scummed up, it's the easiest way to get rid of all that crap in the join. Well, yeah, twice a week we hang out and just talk and paint, and then once a week we play a live game, tech, and once a week we talk about army lists. I enjoy doing all 3 streams actually, or all 3 different types of streams that I do on this channel. They're all pretty fun to do. This is a stream that I get to interact most with you guys, because when I'm playing, I'm trying desperately to win, so sometimes it's hard to keep up with the chat. And when we're doing army lists, again, when we're doing army lists, there's a lot of talk in about army lists. So this is the one where I can chat most to you guys. Salamanders do not even have a chapter master model. Yeah, Salamanders got a strange Primaris character last edition, didn't they? Like, he wasn't even a captain, or I forget what he even was. I don't think he was a Primaris lieutenant. He had like a flamethrower and something. What was the Salamander Primaris character? Because they got one that had like a hand flame or a hand melter or something, right? Did anyone buy it? What exactly was it? Aldari models are like 20 something years old. Yeah, I heard rumors. I think Chapter Master Valrak posted up a video today actually about like there's a rumor that like, well, the rumor was that like Harlequins, Eldari, and Craftworld were gonna like share a codex, and there's gonna be like quite a large model refresh. But it's, I don't know, it's hard to know what to believe. But then I mean, Chapter Master Valric was dead on with the Black Templar release. He'd been talking about that Black Templar release for like at least a couple of months, saying that there was going to be like 4 new characters and a new box and stuff like that. And like, I think he pretty much nailed it. Like, I think he knew all the inside information. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. The end, the Eldar models don't look that, considering how old they are in the range, they actually still look pretty good. Like, if you think of like the jet bikes or the Star Weavers or even like the Wave Serpents, like I think they all look pretty good considering how old they are. I'd say that their old stuff looks better than the old Space Marine stuff for sure. Alright, it's 1:45, so I got about 15 more minutes, guys, and then I'm gonna bail for tonight. But I'm trying to think, so we'll be back tomorrow afternoon with our video on the tournament stuff, and then we'll be back Saturday night, just hanging out, painting, streaming, the same deal. And Sunday is live army list show. Monday, I don't know who I'm playing yet on Monday. I will find out. I may try and rearrange the game against Eldar because it was a little bit last minute cancelled notice, and I did want to play against the Eldar super heavy tank because, you know, I'd said I haven't played a super heavy tank on the channel before. I was actually wrong, and it was Highland Phoenix that reminded me. Hey, anyone know what glue to use for resin onto actual? You mean like you just want to know what super glue to use for resin, Oscar? Because if so, I will tell you. I got a bottle of it right here. Yeah, this is the glue that I would recommend for Forge World stuff, and it is the blue top Gorilla Glue is a gel glue, I believe. So when it comes out, it kind of comes out quite viscous, and this stuff sets in like 15 seconds. I have ruined my fingers with it previously because you get this in like any good hardware store, I would say. You get one with a green top and you get one with a blue top. The one that you want here is... I've been really impressed with the Gorilla Glue. Just be very careful because it sets so quickly. I literally like ended up like sticking a bunch of my fingers together like quite badly. And like when I got the glue off, all my fingers were really sore because like I guess it had taken layers of skin with it. But no, it's perfect on metal models. It sticks super quick. Blue top Gorilla Glue is excellent. Someone else giving it a shout out on the Gorilla Glue. Yep, maybe if Gorilla Glue could sponsor me, that would be great, but I doubt it. But yeah, I highly recommend the Gorilla Glue. If you're in the UK, you can pick that up in like any B&Q or anything like that. We'll have the Gorilla Glue, and it's reasonably cheap. I'd honestly not buy the Games Workshop super glue. I bought some off their website before, and I think you get like 10 little bottles for $5, but it's terrible. It doesn't stick at all, man. The Gorilla Glue comes out very viscous, and it will stick just about anything. The advantage of the Gorilla Glue is if you ever have to do home repairs, it'll just work for that as well. I have we had some trimming that was coming off the floor, and I just grabbed the Gorilla Glue and stuck it down and put a can of Coke on top of it, and an hour later it fixed that as well. So Gorilla Glue is definitely multi-purpose. Petroleum jelly will dissolve super glue. Okay, did not know that. It's good to know though. Catch you next time, Buzzing. Thank you so much for the $8. That's very much appreciated. Hopefully see you again soon. Ever use that Gorilla Tape? It will hold elephants together. Yeah, Gorilla Tape is brilliant. You know, like, if you're ever trying to stick up, like, posters or anything, and you get those, like, double-sided little, I think they're called, like, command strips. Just get a roll of double-sided Gorilla Tape. It's the Gorilla branded stuff. My experience with it has been very, very good. Like, if we ever need, like, any sort of tape, like, we just, yeah, you probably pay like a couple of bucks extra for the Gorilla stuff, but you just know it's gonna work really, really well. Man, I'm in two minds about these old Terminators. I do like how heavy they feel, and I do like their chain fists, but like the models just feel a little bit cramped. I'm an emergency room nurse. Have to use petroleum jelly to dissolve super glue that people have stuck large areas of their skin together with. Okay, that's good to know. What did I miss? Yeah, the Relic Terminators got shafted a little bit, didn't they? Because they didn't get the teleport homer, and the Cataphracti used to get a better invulnerable save. It's funny because the Terminators in Cataphracti armor used to get a 4-up, but the Death Guard models that are in Cataphracti armor get to keep their 4-up, whereas the Space Marines ones lost it. And I think we were talking about that a little while ago. From my understanding, different people within Games Workshop write the different codexes, and like that to me almost feels like just the two people weren't on the same page. You know, it was like one book are losing their solid invuln save, and in the other book they get to keep it. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I love well done metal models, despite some of the negatives of metal. They're actually my favourite. Thanks for tuning in, Dracula. Have a good evening. Nice to see you. Yeah, I think. Yeah, there is something very nice about having the metal models painted right, and it's just a little bit sad that they don't quite have the detail of the new plastic, and also that the paint just doesn't sit with them so well. Like, and I guess this is why a lot of my stuff's varnished, because if the metal stuff isn't varnished, every time you pick it up, you have a chance, like from the oils of your skin and stuff, to remove some of the paint, because on the fine edges of the metal, the paint never adheres super well, it feels like. But there is something nice about finishing metal models, you know, when it's like, here's the old. I think it's just like, it's kind of a tactile game, you know, like you pick up the models and you move them around the board, and there's definitely an element of like attachment or tactileness to the game, and like that's probably why. I don't know. I feel like that's one of the reasons to like the metal models, right? The Death Shroud kept their 4+. I was like, praise Papa Nurgle. If they'd lost that would have been a crime. Yeah, it's funny that they got to keep that, especially when they also have Disgusting and Resilient. But I guess the strength of the Death Guard army is its survivability, right? Like, it's quite slow, but it's quite survivable. I'm off. Good night, Slow 2. Happy birthday. Thank you, Inquisition Tabletop. Nice to see you. I just have another 5 minutes on the stream, guys, and then I'm going to head to bed. So, thank you for hanging out tonight, everybody, and thank you. I mean, thanks to all the members anyway, but also thank you for the super chats tonight, because they're super appreciated. I kind of, once I get moved into my new house, I kind of want to buy a new model, and there's so many good choice. Like, you know, as much as we want to moan about the Blood Angels Codex from time to time, there is so many good choices for new models to buy. Like, one of the things I was thinking about the other day was, like, I don't own a Terrax, and I do actually think a Terrax with like a small legion of Blood Angels in it could be pretty scary. And the Terrax is pretty meaning in the fact, like in combat, I think against vehicles it does D3+6, right? So and its weapon skill doesn't degrade, so even if your Terrax is on 1 wound, you're still on weapon skill 4. D6+3. It's pretty insane, really, when you think about it like that. It's a very, very, very good in close combat against like big nasty armored things. I haven't ever done metal models, but I have done some painting, and there's a product for painting called Direct to Metal that adheres better to metal that could help. Yeah, I mean, all my metal models were probably like sprayed and undercoated years ago. But yeah, the paint just doesn't quite hold on the metal as well as the new plastic stuff. If you're newer to the hobby, the plastic, and in some ways you're a little bit spoiled, because the new stuff is so nice to work with compared to what we used to have to work with in the olden days. But the definition on the plastic stuff is just better as well. You know, like for example, like I'm painting a skull on this guy's arm. It's kind of just a blob. There isn't that much definition around the skull as there could be, for sure. Thousand Suns take the psychic phase to the next level. They do now. Grey Knights are very good as well. Al Slatiny one. Thank you. Happy birthday. Oh, well, I don't know why I'm repeating what you're saying, but yeah, thank you for the birthday wishes. Appreciate it. Another year wiser or older, however you want to look at it. I've posted a list in the members channel recently. Could you shortly review it when you get some time? Yeah, man, I can have a look at it for sure. I will try and check it out tomorrow. It's the weekend, isn't it? So yeah, I can probably check it out tomorrow afternoon and give you some feedback on it. What's the context of the list, Camille? Or did you put that in the members room as well? I still have one of the metal ones with a giant metal banner on his back, and it's actually not broken. Heading to bed. Good night, Gitley. And thanks, Benjamin. Yeah, I'm just finishing up though. But yeah, it was a good birthday. You guys spoiled me tonight on the super chat, so thank you for that. Yeah, the old metal models, that was the one they broke all the time, didn't they? Anytime you had to transport them, there was a chance that they broke. Do you know what? The Finecast stuff isn't that much better though. Astros Axe, the Finecast Axe, I think is notoriously like one of the worst things, or one of the most common things to break, I think. From my understanding. It's almost like a running joke. Astroth's axe just breaks all the time. Piper the Cat Shark, thank you for following. Boom. Oh, we're getting raided. Hey, welcome. Welcome. I appreciate the following. I'm actually just calling it in a couple of minutes, guys, because it's like midnight here in the UK. Maybe someone else just thank you. Where are you guys coming from? What channel raided me? Because I need to return the favor at some point, because we got raided the other night as well when we were just chilling. Are you doing hazard stripes on the yellow? My plan was to do hazard stripes on the yellow. I did them on the salt intercessors, but because I sprayed these guys red, I feel like this yellow needs like another coat at least before it be ready for hazard stripes, because Bitter Bush is the streamer that we came from. Okay, thank you so much, Bitter. Then I need to figure out how my overlay isn't set up for Twitch raids. Like, it doesn't pop up telling me who's raiding, and that's probably just my inexperience. But yeah, I mean, we are still learning on the Twitch side of things, that's for sure. I was looking at the old Space Hulk games for inspirations on your Terminators. I have a 2nd edition codex somewhere. I think I might have packed it because I'm moving house, but I'd actually started painting these bolt guns black, and I'd started painting the bolt guns black, and then someone in the stream was like, you really should paint the bolt guns yellow. And I was like, oh man, but I started painting them black. I'm gonna have to paint over the top of them yellow. This yellow looks okay, but like, I feel like the bolt guns need another coat of yellow before we try and do hazard stripes, because if the yellow, it's so difficult to touch up the yellow after you've done the hazard stripes, because if you make any mistake with the black, you honestly have to do like multiple coats again to get the yellow back to where it was. So do you have any social media you could reach out on? I'd be more than happy to help a fellow Scot with what you need. I mainly, Piper the Cat, I mainly do YouTube. So I just hit 7,500 subscribers on YouTube today, which I was pretty happy about. I do have some social links. I can throw them up for a minute. Just means you have to see me on my other crappy camera. I actually think the social link may be wrong now, because I renamed my YouTube channel because Games Workshop were cracking down on everybody, and I was scared that they might try and shut down my channel. Maybe I was naive or whatnot, but I just renamed it to be safe. So the YouTube channel is just called the same as this now, so just BA Commander, and you know, we play some live games on Monday nights. Thursdays and Sundays we try and paint, and then on Sundays we look at army lists. So we do a few different things. But yeah, I'm going to need to make a follower here. Just the chain. So you think just this chain bit gets the stripes, or you think the whole? Because I was thinking this bit here gets the stripes as well, or no? Just the bit that's actually got the chain blade. I appreciate that. The whole, yeah, see, I thought the whole bit. That's why I was painting this whole bit yellow. I wasn't really sure how far to go with it. See, like I stopped here, kind of just gonna create like a straight line here maybe, or I mean, I could paint round that whole bit yellow as well. Black fist stripes on the blade. Well, every time we go to chat on this, people want different things. I'm going to be painting these chain blades forever. Just the dangerous bit that gets the hazard stripe. Okay. But yeah, it's. I was gonna say, it's pretty much my bedtime, guys. So I will be back. Do you know what? Like I said, tomorrow I've got a new video coming out on YouTube about lunchtime, and then I'll be back on Twitch and YouTube on Saturday night. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys then. These Terminators still have a lot of work to do on them, and so does Mr. Tetmarine, but we're making some progress. And yeah, thank you for the new followers, and I'll definitely get back to you guys on Twitter and whatnot. And if you are new here, consider subscribing. We have Blood Angels content every month, and apparently you get a free member chat for being here for 8 months, Highland Phoenix. So thank you for that. I don't know if everyone saw that free member chat, but I saw it. So who all, do you guys see the free member chat, or do I just see it? Because Reziel got a free member chat as well, but it doesn't pop up on my overlay. Maybe this is something new. Now it says I have 34 viewers on Twitch. If I do, that is insane. I have never had that many. So thank you so much for the raid. I am I'm learning. I'm trying to grow, I guess. If you want to see, yeah, 34 watchers on Twitch. That's insane. That's the most I've ever seen. I'm seeing, so I got offered to be a Twitch partner, but apparently I cannot become a Twitch partner because I stream on YouTube at the same time. And Twitch wanted me to stream exclusively on Twitch, and most of my audience is from YouTube. So at the moment, we're not a Twitch partner, and apparently YouTube have added a new feature where, I guess it's basically like subs, right? I know on Twitch you can get subs, and then you can do gifted subs. But on YouTube, there's a thing called it's called free member chat, which I guess is chat for people that are subs. And I've never seen it before. It just came up in the super chat menu. So cool. Yeah, but we'll be back on Saturday night. So if anyone wants to come hang out, paint some Terminators, listen to some music, just chat about Blood Angels and other 40k stuff, that's what we do Thursdays and Saturdays. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for the super chats. We had a crazy amount of super chats tonight. It certainly made me certainly helped make it a good birthday. I don't know what I'm gonna buy, but yeah, there's exciting things to buy. A Terax drill, maybe one of those new tanks, just because I feel like the Gladiator tanks are still not good enough, right? They're not competitive enough. I feel like Games Workshop are going to give them a buff, because why would they have these Gladiator tanks if no one's using them? And there's a Gladiator tank that looks a lot like a Ball Predator, right? So I think you click on the little dollar button underneath the chat on YouTube, because that is the super chat button. But anyway, I better take it off. I got to be up at work for 7, so I'll catch you guys later. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow on YouTube for the Blood Angels video about my tournament performance from 2 weekends ago, where we went 4 for 1, and I was pretty pleased overall. So that's coming out about lunchtime. And yeah, I'll definitely look at your list in Discord as well, Camille, so I will get back to you on that. Alright, talk to you guys tomorrow. By the blood are we made strong. Peace.
Gotta make some money.
45 years now. And I've been building professionally since 1995. This is what I do for money. Yeah, thank you for the raid, man. Welcome in. Thank you very much. Welcome in, everybody. How'd your stream go? Oh yeah, I've been doing this a very, very long time. Yeah, thank you for the raid. Thanks for coming in on the raid, everybody. Welcome. Yeah, like I said, I've been building for 45 years, and I've been doing it professionally since 1995. I stream as many days as I can, except for Mondays, because, you know, screw Mondays. Yeah, everybody, Chef, give him a shout out, please. Or country. Hope you had a good stream there. What were you doing on stream? What's the paintbrush in there? Oh, Warhammer. Oh, you were painting some Warhammer. I should be on tomorrow, yes. Unless Country locks me in the garage again, I should be on tomorrow. Oh, she'll be at work. Good, she can't lock me in the garage, so I will be here. I should be here tomorrow. I've been better about not cussing.